Welcome everyone to Life Changing Wellness, and I thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dr. Ward Bond TV and visit my website at drwardbond.com for all of my blogs, radio, podcasts, and television, and so much more. Well, today's broadcast is brought to you by Mushroom Wisdom, the makers of the clinically researched product Mataki SX Fraction, which supports healthy blood sugar levels. So check them out at mushroomwisdom.com. Well, today we're going to talk about the Hunger Games, leptin versus ghrelin, which are two appetite hormones that we need to learn about so we can have effective weight loss each and every time. Well, these two appetite hormones, leptin, which decreases our hunger, and ghrelin, which increases our hunger. And we need to remember these two because we've got to get them into balance. Now, usually when we have not eaten for at least 3 to 4 hours, ghrelin levels are high and they can unleash a big appetite. Leptin, this is a little more complicated, and which we're going to discuss a lot about this in this video. These hormones turn on and turn off usually based on the food we eat. So what is discouraging is that as we age or become obese or eat foods containing certain food additives such as MSG or high fructose corn syrup, our bodies fail to properly respond correctly to our appetite hormones. And what should have been simple really isn't. But when we eat a meal and our body produces more leptin, that says, okay, you're full, stop eating. And then we stop. That's the normal process. But since leptin is produced in our fatty tissue, the more fat we have, the more leptin we should make. But obese people usually have more leptin, and in theory, their leptin levels should be saying, you're full, stop eating. And they should stop eating and lose weight. But just because it should does not mean it will. But what actually happens is that the brain and the body fail to communicate due to leptin resistance. This is in part due to carbohydrate sensitivity. As a result, the body not only misses the signal for feeling full, and there is no decrease in appetite, but the person may actually feel hungrier than ever, which only compounds the problem. So here's the deal. There's no magic pill for leptin. There's no leptin pill out there. I've seen products to claim that it's a leptin pill, and there is no such thing. Even researchers had failed at producing one after showing good results in research, but they couldn't figure out how to get it into a pill form to create a weight loss prescription. So now they're at a loss on how they're going to do this. So what we have to do and what we have to learn is we have to do it the old-fashioned way. Well, ghrelin. Now, ghrelin is spelled Ghrelin. Ghrelin. This is the hormone that tells us that we are hungry. It is made in the stomach and the intestines, so if your stomach feels empty, you naturally feel hungry. Your appetite increases. That is ghrelin at work in your body. And you have more ghrelin in your body when you are hungry and less after you have eaten. So on a practical level, if you forget to eat a meal or you purposely skip a meal, maybe trying to lose weight, your body pumps out more ghrelin and you end up with that starving feeling. So keeping ghrelin levels low is supposed to help manage our body weight. The task is almost impossible if we're eating a low-fat diet. So ghrelin levels decrease for about 3 to 4 hours after a meal, and then again they start and they begin to rise. Now, having sufficient fat in the diet is helpful because it delays gastric emptying and lowers ghrelin levels for many more hours, which suppresses appetite, okay? And that's what we want. High ghrelin levels due to a low-fat diet creates a downward spiral that does not stop. The results are what we see around in our society, and that it's an epidemic of obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, could even be cancer because of our diets are so bad, Our diets in America are extremely high carbohydrate. Just about every food that people gravitate to is nothing but carb. And we've got to reduce the carbs in our diet, and we need to keep them more towards the vegetable side. Or if you go to the fruit side, you need to keep them more towards berries and apples, which are much lower in sugar, especially apples that are more towards the yellow side, the green side. Those are the lower sugar varieties. Red ones are higher in sugar, but they all have fiber. But berries are low in sugar, low in calorie, high in fiber, and those are very good for all of us because of the antioxidant levels. Now, actually, the less body fat we have, the better our leptin works to turn off our appetite, which in turn helps us to manage our weight and metabolism. It is next to impossible to lose weight when our own appetite hormones are actually sabotaging us. If these hormones are out of balance, the usual eat less food and exercise more mentality will possibly end up with us gaining more weight. For example, eating a low-calorie diet of less than 1,000 calories a day will eventually lead to high ghrelin levels and uncontrollable hunger. This can also lead to the term hangry, which means we are hungry and angry. That usually happens because of your blood sugar drops. So those with hypoglycemia know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the term hangry. You become hungry, but you also become angry, and you need food to turn yourself around. Now, we don't want this to happen. So this is why weight gain is so common after completing a low-calorie diet. And this is where the term yo-yo dieting comes from. You go on a low-calorie diet or a low-fat diet, and you lose your weight, you feel good, and then you're right back to where you started. You start going back to those foods that are creating that hunger. You're not controlling it. You're letting food control you. This is where we want to be in control, and this is what I'm trying to teach you today about the leptin levels and the ghrelin levels in our body that we are able to take control by the foods that we eat. So the appetite hormones cannot sabotage weight loss plans if, again, you are the one in control. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to take control. Now, imagine losing weight and not being hungry. That's like the holy grail for all of us. We must have our leptin and our ghrelin levels in balance. Now, the high-fat and moderate protein foods and vegetables will do that for you and I, and you get that internal feeling of satisfaction taking place. And that's what we want. We want to eat food, we want to be satisfied, and then we don't want to be hungry. Okay, we want to keep hunger at a bare minimum. We want to keep it low. We don't want to be agitated knowing that our stomach said, hey, it's you're hungry. When you're hungry, when your stomach says it's time to eat, we need to eat the right foods. Now, when people go on the keto diet, there's these things called ketones. There's a process called ketosis. So your ketones, they're low in the morning, and increased levels of ketones will suppress your appetite. This means food and the ketones are working in your favor to control your appetite hormones, and that makes you the one in control of your appetite. You don't want your brain in control of your appetite, because then your brain will always lie to you. And if your brain is telling you that you're hungry and your stomach is not, that means you're eating too much carbohydrate. And what I'm going to do this week in our video series is that I'm going to show you some of those additives that cause these problems in our food supply that sabotage our weight loss plans. So think about this. When you start to burn fat for fuel and produce ketones, it's very possible to feel completely satisfied and energized on one, maybe even just 2 meals a day. I mean, think about that. Only eating once or twice a day and be completely satisfied. This can be done. So thousands of people across America, hundreds of thousands of people are on the keto diet. So this is where you want to find your balance. The increase in your omega-3 fat intake on the keto diet, this will boost your leptin and helps reverse leptin resistance, and this decreases your hunger. I probably take about, I'm going to say maybe 15 grams of omega-3 fats per day at least. Sometimes I may go to 30 just on the omega-3 fats. So there's also other types of fats, such as the saturated fats that you get from coconut oil, which is great. We want to do healthy fats such as avocados as well. We're going to get into the foods later this week. So ghrelin levels, okay, ghrelin is what increases our hunger. Ghrelin levels do not typically go up when your body is in ketosis. So ketosis suppresses the ghrelin levels that usually occur with weight loss. So with the keto diet that so many people are on, this is considered a low-carb diet, but fats and proteins help balance your appetite hormones. That's the whole point of this diet. And you usually have a full or satisfied feeling without food cravings. Oh my gosh, how many of us have ever gone on a diet? Raise your hand. And you start thinking about the foods that got you fat in the first place. Think about it, okay? We know we've all been in that same boat. But the keto diet helps us to reverse that trend. So most carbs such as potatoes, rice, and pasta, these have to be avoided. And believe it or not, when you eat those types of foods, they only spend about 30 minutes in your stomach and may only take 2 hours to digest and then absorb fully into the body. Take proteins. Proteins take longer to digest than carbohydrates, but healthy fats take the most time to digest and to absorb in the body, helping to lower ghrelin levels. Now, here's the thing. When you're on the keto diet, that doesn't mean loading up on a bunch of bacon and a bunch of bad fats, trans fatty acids, omega-6s, okay? We want to load up on healthy fats. Avocados, nuts and seeds, your omega-3s, your fish oil. Flaxseed would be a healthy oil. Olive oil that's not cooked with, eating olive oil raw. Using it as a dressing on a vegetable laden salad. That works great for you because those are healthy fats. Some people will add coconut oil, MCT oil, to coffee in the morning, which will boost your energy, satisfy and suppress your hunger, and boost brain function at the same time. So we want to focus on healthy fats because here's the thing about healthy fats. Healthy fats in the body actually help your own body get rid of bad fats. Now, when we think about bad fats, what's bad fats? Well, it could be excess body weight. It could be LDL cholesterol. It could be triglycerides. See, triglycerides are formed in our blood from too much sugar. Triglycerides is nothing more than a blood fat. But we lower these elevated levels by putting good, healthy fats into the body. I'm a big believer in omega-3s. I use Carlson Labs Elite Omegas every single day. I use the liquid. I'll use the capsules. But I really like their liquid form because I can get 14, 15 grams, boom, with a couple of tablespoons. Has a lemon flavor and tastes great and works great and great for your arteries and your brain and your liver and so much more. But this also works in the areas of leptin. It works in the areas of creating ketosis in the body. So if you're on the keto diet, it's about the time to win the Hunger Games because it's leptin versus ghrelin, and you alone can be in control of your own victory when it comes to weight loss. So getting your ghrelin and your leptin hormones to function properly is an absolute necessity to any weight loss program, and it will happen on the keto diet. The longer you stay on the keto diet, the easier it becomes, and the more control you have over your appetite hormones. So in the next upcoming video, what I'm going to do is we will explore the food additives that will sabotage your weight loss program. So stay tuned because for the next video, we're going to cover those food additives. So you want to make sure that you watch that video because you're going to be surprised on the food additives that will derail you and how food companies lie to you. And then you're wondering, why can't I lose weight? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take control. So right now I want to thank all of my sponsors for supporting all of our videos, our radio, and our TV shows, Herbal Ultra, Bright Core Nutrition, Carlson Labs, Mushroom Wisdom, who is today's sponsor with the Mataki SX fraction for healthy blood sugar levels, as well as Pure Essence Labs, and of course, Prevagen, America's #1 brain supplement. Go to my website at Dr. Ward Bond to learn more about my sponsors. Go to drwardbond.com. Let me leave you with this, and may this bless you. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. I'm Dr. Ward Bond, and remember, something spectacular happens when you treat your body right.